Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Wellness Podcast family. We are in our Medicine in Black series. I am your host, Corey, and today we're going to be diving into the history and healing power of Feverfew, an herbal remedy that has been used for centuries. But before we hop into today's episode, y'all know how we do over here. We always start every episode with 30 seconds of gratitude. And today I am so grateful for, again, being a vessel for this knowledge. This is important knowledge that our community must know. Many of us are unaware of many of the things, and I'm finding out on social media that many people are so unaware of the things that I have been sharing, and I am so grateful to have been chosen to be a vessel for this information. I am grateful for this platform. My podcast has been around for a few years, and I have loved being in the position to share about wellness and health and fitness and healing with my community. So I'm so grateful for that. And I am just grateful to be on this side of the ground today, breathing in, feeling healthy and well. I'm just very, very grateful for that. Now, that may have been more than 30 seconds, but that's all right. As I always say, when you are living in a space of gratitude, you can never be grateful enough. Enslaved Africans relied on this plant to treat migraines, fevers, skin disorders, ulcers, and digestive issues like gas and indigestion. But as with many of our ancestral healing traditions, this knowledge has often been overlooked or erased from mainstream history. Let's take a journey into the power of Feverfew and its traditional uses, and how our ancestors relied on plant medicine for survival. Feverfew, scientifically known as Tantasium parthenium. I did that one right, y'all, this time. And it's a member of the daisy family. Originally native to southeastern Europe, it quickly became a staple in traditional medicine around the world. It was used by ancient cultures to reduce fevers, hence the name Feverfew, and its anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties. So for enslaved Africans, Feverfew was more than just a remedy. It was a vital tool for managing pain and illness in a world where medical care was rarely, if ever, accessible to them. Feverfew became a go-to plant for treating migraine headaches, fevers, and chills, skin disorders and ulcers, as well as digestive issues. Enslaved people often endured extreme physical labor, stress, and malnutrition, all of which could trigger severe headaches. Feverfew's natural compounds help to reduce that inflammation and relieve pain. Without access to doctors, enslaved communities had to turn to nature. Feverfew acted as a cooling herb, helping to lower fevers and fight infections. The leaves of the Feverfew plant were sometimes applied directly to the skin to soothe rashes, wounds, and other skin irritations such as ulcers, which was a common issue due to poor nutrition and high stress. Gas, indigestion, and stomach discomfort were often treated with Feverfew tea as well because it helped to calm the digestive system. The knowledge of Feverfew and other medicinal plants came from a combination of African healing traditions, indigenous plant wisdom, and European herbal practices. Many enslaved Africans arrived in the Americas with the deep knowledge of plant-based medicine, but they also had to adapt to new environments by learning from indigenous peoples who were either enslaved themselves or offered safe havens to slaves who looked for freedom. And so they had been using North American plants for generations, so they often shared the knowledge between the cultures. Enslaved healers played a crucial role in their communities, acting as herbalists, midwives, and caregivers. Their ability to use plants like Feverfew was an act of resilience, ensuring their survival in conditions that were designed to break them. As we've seen in many other traditional healing practices, the use of Feverfew and other medicinal plants was often met with resistance from enslavers and colonial authorities. Laws were passed to restrict enslaved people's access to medicine, and in some cases, the healers were punished for their knowledge by death. Why? Because traditional medicine gave enslaved people a form of independence, and if they could heal themselves and each other, they were less reliant on their oppressors. This knowledge empowered them, and that ultimately was seen as a threat. Even though much of our ancestral knowledge was suppressed, healing traditions have continued to endure. Feverfew is still used today, especially in herbal and alternative medicine circles. Studies have confirmed its effectiveness in reducing migraines and inflammation, proving what our ancestors already knew. I can attest to that because I use Feverfew to manage my migraines. So the next time you see Feverfew in an herbal supplement or in a tea blend, remember the history behind it. This isn't just a plant, it's a symbol of resistance, resilience, healing, and the power of our ancestral knowledge. The story of Feverfew reminds us that our ancestors had a deep understanding of natural healing. Despite the challenges they faced, they preserved this wisdom and passed it down through the generations. Their legacy lives on every time we turn to plant medicine for wellness. Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of the Melanin Wellness Podcast and for riding with me on this journey through history and healing. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who would love to learn more about our ancestral medicine. Until next time, honor the wisdom of those who came before us and continue to reclaim our healing traditions.